But I can hear him say, "You have this hiding in the closet." That was the first thing I heard. And then I felt myself getting punched over and over. After he stopped hitting me, I went to reach for my phone because I actually felt it up under my chest. Mm-hmm. I went to reach where he grabbed it. I ran up the stairs with my eyes closed. I just remember getting up and running with my eyes closed because every time I came in the house, I would put my gun in different areas so my kids can't find it. But I ran straight to it. We were arguing in my living room, and it was a disagreement. He was choking me.
Can you tell us about the day everything happened?
Of the shooting?
Yeah.
Let's take a pause.
Okay. All right. The shoes are off. The mics are hot. We are officially live from the living room. I have a guest. I got to get it right into it. It's gonna be an episode, so be warned. She's an owner, an online heel store called Kids is Unique. Give it up for Cali Picks. That's you. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
It's kind of been a long time coming.
I know. It's been a while, actually. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we met, 2014, 15? That's a good
I want to say 16.
16? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was 16, yeah.
Okay. So, I met you on the video set, and you had just moved here from Indiana?
Yes, I did. I
okay.
actually, I moved here 2015, June, from Indianapolis, Indiana. Mm-hmm. Originally from California, but...
Oh, okay. You what was the purpose of the move here? Like, what brought you this way?
A new beginning. I was separating from my son's father. Mm-hmm. So it was like a fresh start.
Gotcha.
I left and welcomed me to
Georgia. Gotcha. Now, would you say the move was everything you expected, right on par with the course of your life, or how was the move for you?
It actually went pretty good.
Yeah.
I did start from scratch.
Okay.
But honestly, I got to experience everything I was dreaming of experiencing.
Which was?
Videos, modeling.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot of self-discipline.
Yeah.
So I was able to finally learn how to navigate independently. And when I say independently, I mean, all right.
So when you moved down here, and you said you got into the scene, video scene, music scene, modeling, what type of people did you meet?
I met a lot of different people. I don't know how to really sum that up, but I met a variety.
Good, bad,
both.
Eccentric?
Both.
Okay.
I had some good people, who were very motivating. Mm-hmm. They were actually good for networking.
Yeah.
They were good for, they actually helped with advice and trying to help get me into a certain position.
Okay.
Then, of course, there were some bad people.
What made them bad?
Personalities, actions.
Was this pure business or the guys that you dated, or?
Kind of.
For the
both.
record, are you strictly heterosexual or bi or? It's a real question.
It is. It is. But I love men.
Okay.
If that helps some.
Never dated a woman?
I've never been in a relationship with a woman.
Okay. That answers it. It's a real question we have to ask.
Hey, it's fine. I'm open. Let's go.
Which one we ask? You want to state your pronouns? Joking. All right. So when you say bad people, these are guys you were dating, or just from a professional standpoint, or what?
I would say I have met some conniving people. Mm-hmm. When I say conniving, I mean people that will pretend to love you or pretend to be a friend. Yeah. And really are very good at manipulating and scamming for their own benefit.
How many people in the industry have you dated?
I only dated one guy in the industry.
Yeah? Yeah. And that's Bando?
Yeah.
All right. So, so you dated Bando Jones for
I met
how long?
Bando Jones in 2017, September.
Okay.
We dated we was kind of on and off from there all the way until 2021.
Okay. What was the nature of the relationship starting out?
When we first met, we were dating. He asked me to be with him. Mm-hmm. From there, I kind of knew in my mind that he's a singer, so it might be, a little bit of conflict when it comes to women and drama. However, in the beginning, he was very romantic.
How long did that last before you noticed a shift?
Honestly, he has always been romantic, but as far as with other women and the cheating and stuff like that, that came about not far after.
Weeks, months?
I want to say like maybe 4 or 5 months into our relationship.
You said messages from other women. Was it more coming to you as a woman or a competition or what?
I had messages that were from women that were trying to come to me as a woman. Mm-hmm. I had messages from women who were mad, per se. Mm-hmm. So they attacked me more so than actually approaching me. But I'm not really confrontational, so I kind of avoid the conversation. I kind of addressed it with him, but avoid the conversation.
As you should. You're supposed to talk to the person that you're with. Supposed to be with, rather. All right, so with the relationship going on and off, was it hot and cold throughout the entirety of it?
I guess so. Honestly. Yeah. Because we can be on good for 6 months or so, and then it can be rocky for a couple months in between. Okay. Because of course I'm getting a lot of inboxes.
So basically, you're saying the nature of the relationship would always get rocky based on other women contacting you and the cheating, constant cheating. That
was mainly the bad problem with him. He was more, outside of that part, he was mainly a gentleman. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how to explain that, because honestly, he was.
Have you been in abusive relationships prior? No. So this is basically what you would say this is your first abusive relationship?
Yes.
When did the abuse start that you identified?
I mean, I noticed verbally that he can be aggressive. Mm-hmm.
What was do you remember the first incident where you was like, oh, that's a little different?
Yeah, in 2018, we were arguing in my living room. And it was a disagreement. He was choking me. And
that went from verbal to physical very quickly.
It did, actually. But my neighbor heard us arguing, so he called the police. Okay. And as the police was coming through the back door, we can hear him coming. So, of course, he stopped. He stopped, and we kind of just brushed it off. Yeah. I didn't really tell on him then or say nothing because that was the very first time.
You've ever experienced something like that?
Yeah, where he was, aggressive in that type of area.
Okay. If you need to stop anytime, let me know.
Oh, no, we're fine.
Okay. So, in doing research, and there are like these flags, whether we see them in the moment or afterwards, right? If you have an opportunity to see it afterwards. Did you, looking back on the situation now, do you have a list of red flags that you're like, oh, this was out of place?
I kind of do. Like the random arguments or stuff that he would start that I would never comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where is this coming from? Like, everything was just so perfect, and
yeah.
now you're mad, and I don't know why you're mad. And then, but outside of just that alone, honestly, I wouldn't have, and outside of that and the females contacting me,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have really questioned too much.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw out some research points to you, to see if you notice any of these behaviors. Since you said this is your first, you do classify this as your first abusive relationship. So jealousy and controlling behavior. Did you experience that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Did it turn you on at first? You can be honest.
I can't even, to an extent, because it's like, oh, he cares.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it became too aggressive, it was like, why are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not, what I'm saying, that's not what I'm doing. And I'm sure that's not what I'm doing.
Well, he was projecting that you were cheating and talking to other people?
That, he will always want me to be up under him, but of course, due to my own career and things that I have going on, that's not even, of course, possible like that. When we make time when we make time for each other.
Another trademark of a very abusive person would be very quick involvement. Do you think you guys got serious very, very quickly?
I guess so. If fair to say.
How long do you normally date a guy before it gets to what you would classify as a serious situation?
It's really serious once you announce it as serious. But however, me and him didn't really start around like 60 days into a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's when we got to the point where we were, start being serious. Because the first month I was kind of like, he's not my type. But I was skeptical, and then I was like, okay, he's consistent,
and
maybe it might, because he's romantic too.
Yeah.
Of course, that might come with the music.
Okay. Isolation is another trait. Do you feel like he tried to isolate you from your friends, family, everything that you had going on in your life? He tried to cut all that off?
To an extent, yeah.
In what ways?
Like the type of, like, he used to call my family members, and he would say things, but he would relate things to me differently.
He would call your family members?
Yeah, like he would have personal contact with people. And
what, like cousins, brothers, sisters?
Aunts.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. It was almost like he was telling on me.
What were you? Okay. Okay. What was he telling?
It's just like when he couldn't get me to respond the way he wanted me to respond.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way I deal with negativity is to kind of ignore it.
Okay.
So if he's too irate, I would just not answer.
Okay. So what would he say to an auntie?
Honestly, she wasn't even honest enough to tell me everything either. So I couldn't even really be able to say everything that he would say to her. But some things that I do know that he was saying was like, he was basically trying to tell his side of the story and convince my family that he was, this picture perfect good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He always went out his way to say how he didn't, never want to harm me, or, what I'm saying, or put me in harm's way, or like it always was something about how he don't abuse a woman.
Yeah.
And I should have paid attention to that, because that was kind of probably the red flag there.
He actually used the word abuse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or harm.
Okay. So how would the conversation with the auntie go? She was like, girl, you better leave that, you better keep that good man.
She was more trying to, she was trying to convince me to stay.
Okay. Did you notice when you guys would argue, would things be broken? Did he punch walls? Did he get physical with other things, like destroy property in other ways?
He didn't necessarily destroy properties, but he would be aggressive with me. So his tone of voice would flare up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like at first he was more so, he would be loud, but he didn't touch me.
Yeah.
But he was so aggressive, it almost looked like he would, though.
Like very demonstrative with his hands, like around your face, and movements.
Everything. And stuff. I mean, he looks aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally he does, but he would just his tone of voice, the way he talked to you.
Yeah. He's
very belittling.
Okay.
To an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he might catch his words when he realized, like,
he's going there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning that's how it started. Towards the end, it was more he didn't care.
Now you said he was a
narcissist.
No, I mean, well, yeah, that's another thing you said. But when you say narcissist, what would you classify that as like his behavior or traits?
Controlling.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be the very first one.
Okay.
It's very controlling, and he's very good at manipulating. So being controlling and manipulating to me is definitely classic signs of it. It's like he can do the most wickedest things, but still find his way to convince you that you did it to him.
Okay.
Or find a way in your flaw for being, or responding, should I say, to his behavior, to flip it off to you, or project it.
Would I think what I was alluding to, you said he was a drug user.
I found that out towards the end, but yes.
What did you say he was on?
Cocaine.
What did you find? Oh.
Beans, ecstasy, I guess.
Beans?
They call it beans, but ecstasy.
So he does both, or
cocaine, ecstasy, alcohol.
Does he have any mental health issues that you're aware of?
Not that I'm personally aware of, but he definitely has mental health issues.
Would you say he exhibited the same behavior throughout the duration of your relationship, or was something that towards the end that you noticed?
Towards the end, it became very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
He had little things, but not. He wasn't. He always was pretty fragile. Like, he was pretty hopeless romantic type at first.
Mm-hmm. When did you notice a change?
When all the girls started inboxing me, and I was responding to him to it.
This is what year?
2018.
Okay, so fairly early. How did you find out about the drug use?
After he shot me.
Oh, so how did you get that information?
Because the detective told me that he was under the influence of cocaine, and that they also found cocaine in his car.
Got you. Okay. Before we dive a little deeper into that, there are other signs that would manifest some of these traits. Sometimes people don't notice it because they might be attracted to it or might be into it in a way. So if this question makes you uncomfortable, let me know. Okay. During your sexual activity, would he be into degrading acts? No.
No.
It's more hopeless romantic, intimate. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't, and when it came to that part,
No.
Nothing that will be over the top aggressive or abusive or sexually. That was more of a romantic thing.
Okay. So the aggression, it peaked at the moment you said you didn't want to be with him, or what would you say was the catalyst for the aggression to the point where you guys had the shooting?
Honestly, because the arguments were intense, but he never put his hands on me. At the end, honestly, that was probably like the top notch aggressiveness. That last month or two was the most I ever seen him be over the top, nasty, trifling, aggressive, evil.
Can you tell us about the day everything happened?
Of the shooting?
Yeah.
Let's take a pause.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
I know.
I'm all sweating and shit. Whew. I don't want to sweat too hard because this pleasure right here. You know what I'm saying? Water. Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right. All right.
Whenever you're ready, how'd the day start?
I was off that day, so I really was. Earlier in the day, I was straightening up, cleaning up, responding to my children. I did go to bed a little early. That's how it started.
What's early? What's going to bed early for you?
8, 9
p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm guessing he's blowing up your phone?
Yeah, except for I was asleep, so I didn't see it.
Okay. How many times did he call you?
I would have to go. Well, I probably can't go back to that, but back to back, if that helps. I don't know the exact number.
4 to 10, 5, 10?
Probably over 5.
Okay. So he pulls up, and what happens?
I just remember being beat up out my sleep.
So you didn't even answer the door. How did he get in the house?
He had a key.
Oh, okay. So he comes in the house and he pulls you out of bed. Or what happens?
He comes in the house. I hear him come down the stairs, but like when you're half asleep, or like I didn't necessarily move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I can hear him say, "You have niggas hiding in the closet." That was the first thing I heard. And then I felt myself getting punched over and over. After he stopped hitting me, I went to reach for my phone because I actually felt it up under my chest. I went to reach where he grabbed it. I ran up the stairs with my eyes closed. I just remember getting up and running with my eyes closed because every time I came in the house, I would put my gun in different areas so my kids can't find it. But I ran straight to it because it was in the kitchen. Because I never got beat up like that before. So I didn't really know how to respond besides go to your protection.
Yeah.
So I get there, I grab my gun, I go to the front door. I was gonna run to my neighbor's house and call the police. But before I can get out the door, I open up the door and I see him outside, and he has his driver's side of the door open. And it's a woman that's on the passenger side. And the way it looks is him telling her what's going on in his way, I guess. She gets out the car, and I remember her taking out her. He was like, "Babe, take out your phone. Take your phone out." I'm just sitting there like, "What the hell?" You know, because it's 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and y'all out here acting ignorant as hell. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know this woman? Have you seen her before?
I have never seen her a day in my life. So I had no idea who she was, what she was to him, none of that. Okay. But I figured once he said, "Babe, take out your phone." Yeah. Well, that's not the first thing he said. He actually said, "Yeah, I brought somebody with me." He was like, then he said, "Babe, take out your phone."
So you run upstairs. He's chasing you, I'm assuming?
Honestly, it's so fast that I don't even remember if he chased me up the stairs or if he went out the back door and ran up to the front. Okay. Because I don't remember hearing anything behind me. But after I was shot, my daughter said she found my phone on the stairs because I told her to go look downstairs and see if he dropped or left my phone. And she came back upstairs. She said it was on the stairs. So I figured either he left it or he went out the back because, I mean, honestly, I told when I ran upstairs with my eyes closed. So I didn't think to listen if he was behind me or think to look back. I just was trying to get to
your protection.
Yeah.
So you were having an exchange with him on the front porch? Front door?
So he had her take out the phone.
Okay.
They started to record.
And for my ignorance, your kitchen is by the front door, or?
No, my front door is the living room. It was a tri-level. Okay. So the top floor is where my children are. The middle floor is the front door, the living room, the kitchen, dining room. Gotcha. And, of course, beneath is my bedroom and so forth.
Okay.
So I get to the front door. He tells her to pull out her phone. And she pulls it out. He told me, I remember hearing him say, "You're going to look real good going to jail." That's what he said. "You're going to look real good going to jail." And then both their hands on the phone, and they're going like this, back and forth. And I responded as I told him, I said, "But you just beat the shit out of me downstairs and you're at my house and there's cameras here. So how am I going to jail?" And after that, I just remember my daughter, she comes in, or she's running downstairs with the bat. And I remember the girl going to the car and grabbing his gun out of the car. And she's going back and forth like this. So, and just to rewind, before that, I noticed that I did notice that their eyes were so big. Like, it looked like the white part. It wasn't no white part.
It was just like the eyes were extremely dilated.
It was no white part. So I asked, I was like, "Are you guys high?" Because it's the only thing I can think of. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, "Bitch," excuse me. Okay. She said, "Bitch, I don't do drugs." I was like, "So why the fuck is y'all at my house?" Excuse me. Yeah. And that's when I realized, you know what I'm saying? That's when she went to the car. That's when she got the gun. And she started to wave it at my baby.
And what happened after that?
After that, he snatched the gun from her. But in my mind, I'm thinking he knows Janiyah, so he's stopping it. You know what I'm saying? And I still have my gun, but it's pointed down. And he grabs the gun from her, cocks it, and then lifts it up and raised it at me, but it jammed, and I shot him.
Wow. Where'd you shoot him at?
According to the police report, his left leg.
How many times did you shoot him?
Once.
Okay.
Once. I shut the door, and I began to tell my daughter to go upstairs.
Did your daughter see all of this?
She did.
How old is she?
14.
Tough. So what happens next?
I can hear the girl, telling him, let's just go. And I remember hearing him say, this bitch shot me. And I kept telling after that, I just kept telling my daughter to go upstairs because I can hear my 2-year-old screaming. Mm-hmm. So I was like, Nia, go upstairs. And when I went to, I had my body against the door because they were trying to get in. So I had my body against the door, and when I turned and said, Nia, go upstairs for the last time, she took those couple steps, and then I just felt my body spin around. I heard the shot. I felt my body spin around, and it was my right femur first. Once I hit the ground, I heard the second shot. And when I heard the second shot, it was my left tibia.
Have you shot before?
No.
Is there a reason in particular why you only shot one time, or
honestly, it went so fast that my daughter said that he charged towards me, mm-hmm. and I just remember hearing the gunshot. To be honest with you,
yeah.
I remember the girl pulling out the gun. I remember him snatching it from her, cocking it, and I remember it jamming.
Yeah.
Because we really was, once he grabbed it and cocked it, we were shooting at the same time. Because in my eyes, you about to kill me.
Yeah.
So we shot, but his jammed, and mine actually went through. And when I shut the door, he shot blindlessly through the door, and it went through my legs. And if my baby wasn't those few steps up, it would have hit her. And it went through not only my legs, not only through the door, but through my legs and through the staircase and through the other wall on the other side.
How many times did he shoot?
Twice.
Just, and both of them hit you?
Yes.
What happens next that you recall?
I remember after I hit the ground, I just remember seeing my right leg bent backwards. So at this point, I put myself in a egg kind of I had to hold my legs. Yeah, I had to hold my arms under my legs because it hurt to let it touch the ground, and my left leg was hanging off actually.
Ooh.
So this leg, you can see, was actually detached.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, after his shots, did you hear them leave?
My daughter said she saw because in my window, my door had a window in it.
Yeah.
And because she's on the stairs right there, she was able to
see that they pulled off.
She said that he got into the back and the girl drove him away.
Okay. Damn. What happens next? Your daughter calls police. You call police.
I told my daughter to go see if she can find my phone downstairs. Mm-hmm. And when she went downstairs, she came back up. She was very hysterical.
Yeah.
Screaming, and I had to stay calm because if I passed out, I noticed I have holes in my leg, but I wasn't bleeding out, but there was meat out. I had her call the police and set the phone next to me because she was too much at the moment. So when the police asking questions, her being hysterical and going crazy and stuff like that, they had to talk to somebody that was
the more calm.
Yeah. So she set the phone to me. My neighbor ended up coming, and I heard her say Jackie. And I told her I was behind the door because I was behind the front door. So she couldn't really open the door all the way without hurting me.
Yeah.
And she came in and she just kind of took over the call from there.
Yeah.
And the police came in like a couple minutes.
Yeah. The neighbor, has she witnessed you guys have altercations before?
No.
No? Okay. Following up this situation, hospital, how did they treat you like a victim, or did they treat you like a criminal?
No, they treated me like a victim.
Okay.
It was very frustrating at first because, you know, I was so much in pain that when they were asking me questions, I really couldn't respond to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was more focused on getting fixed first before I actually really, you know, went too far into detail. But in the beginning, I definitely told the officers his name, and I did let them know that he was shot as well, so it shouldn't be hard to find him. Mm-hmm. And I let them know the woman that was with him is at least her description, because I didn't know her information yet.
Right.
And they still didn't get him.
How long did it take?
I want to say 6 months. So it happened June 11 of 21. They didn't catch him till November 5th of 21.
Wow. Do you think they did what they were supposed to do? Well, I'm sorry. Do you think they pursued him the way they were supposed to?
No.
Why? What would you say? What was the reason why they didn't pursue it?
Because if I told you his description, and I told you I shot him as well, but he was still able to leave the hospital, that was a problem for me. I told you his direct name and everything, and y'all located him instantly, but he still was able to manage to get released. That was kind of...
What hospital?
Northside.
Northside? What police department?
Gwinnett.
Have you talked to them or talked to a lawyer about a lawsuit?
I did, but it became very difficult when it came to that because it's very complicated, honestly. I done talked to several people. Some people don't care to because...
Meaning lawyers?
Yeah, because they don't really understand the situation, or because they have to make sure he's where he's supposed to be as far as financially. And then I actually got legal advice and was told that certain things that he can do.
Who's supposed to be where financially?
Corey Hodges, Bendo Jones.
Okay. Well, I was meaning lawsuit as in
the hospital or the police.
Hospital and police.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I didn't, because the hospital necessarily ain't the problem. Mm-hmm. It's more of the police. Okay. The hospital don't know what is happening. They're just treating. Gunshot wound victims come in and they're just treating. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? However, we was definitely in the same hospital on the same floor.
Wow.
Right. But you find that stuff out later.
Wow. Ooh. Did any of his people see you, look for you while you were in the hospital?
Not necessarily while I was in the hospital, but once I was out, it was family members that reached out. It was a sister.
His family?
Yeah, one of his sisters. Because when it first happened, I was upset, and of course I was under all the medicine and stuff, and I was just kind of reacting. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, you wake up out your sleep a couple of days later, even though to other people you might have been aware, to them because your eyes are open. Yeah. But I'm so out of it because I'm under all this medication that I don't even remember talking to half the people. And then I wake up and I'm looked down and both my legs are in mechanical shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at my legs stapled up and swollen, and I can't get up. I have to roll over to get my ass wiped. You know? Yeah. Yeah. And I got angry. I was really angry because now I can't do anything. Yeah. Like, I wasn't even sure if I was gonna be paralyzed forever, even though they have this stuff saying, "Oh, get up and walk." I mean, they made me get up 2 days later and walk on nothing. Yeah. Because my legs was broken at its finest. But they made me still get up and walk.
You had told me you lost feeling in different parts of your body. Can you explain that?
Yeah. When I work out, my left leg has no feeling. So
the entire leg, or from the knee down?
The entire leg. So it's to the point that when you feel the burn when you're working out,
yeah,
but the left leg has no burn. Might be strong, but ain't no burn. Yeah.
What about your feet?
My left foot didn't have, my toes wouldn't move until probably halfway through the healing process, where I would start to be able to move my feet or my toes. I have 12 screws, so 6 in each leg, and rods. My ankle, it's, I had, the left leg was the worst because it shattered. Mm-hmm. So they had to drill holes in my knees to take bone out of my thighs or femur, mm-hmm. and put it over the shattered part, which is in my tibia on my left leg, and for it to grow back in, to fill it up.
Yeah.
And as of now, I don't have full range of motion in my left ankle or nothing like that. So sometimes I can trip. It's very painful after so long.
Or walking,
trying to do squats. I still work out, but it can get painful. It's hard for me. You know how you would just naturally get up and just get up using your knees to get up. Mm-hmm. I have to definitely have assistance to get up.
Yeah.
And when it's, of course, cold, rainy, or anything like that,
you feel it.
I am stiffed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes my right leg, when I try to bend it up, it tends to lock.
Like a cramp, or?
It feels like my meat is snugging on my screws.
Ooh.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
That's just me giving you a description. I'm not sure exactly what the hell is happening under there, but mm-hmm. That's just what it feels like to me.
How has this affected you as far as taking care of your family financially and working?
I took a big loss. I took a very big loss. I was doing a dispatching business with truckers, and I had lost a few clients there. On top of that, of course, being out of work, so any other work I was doing that was more physical was out of the question, mm-hmm. due to the fact of my injuries.
Yeah.
Mentally, it's draining.
Yeah. Very
draining. Even though I can sit and be, jolly with everyone around me, doesn't mean that I'm not really fighting a battle of something that is very traumatic. Mm-hmm. And I have been through hell, trust me. My whole life, there's nothing easy about it, but this experience has been very mentally draining, physically draining, emotionally draining.
Yeah. Your children, explaining what happened to your children that didn't see it, and then for the ones that did see it, can you speak to the impact on that?
I can see the difference. My oldest, she saw the whole from the beginning to end.
Yeah.
And she has some behavior problems now that wasn't there before. Mm-hmm. She wrote me a letter that was pretty heartbreaking to read it, because my baby was telling me she was having mental breakdowns and stuff. And it's like, I might be able to deal. I'm grown, mm-hmm. so I might be able to deal with certain stuff. And I've been through so much throughout my life from my mother on down that I might be able to take things and suck it up differently. But mm-hmm. she's really it's affecting her in other ways.
It compromised her innocence?
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. When did she give you this letter?
I want to say like 2.5 weeks ago. maybe 3 weeks ago. She had a breakdown, and I noticed some things that I'm not all the way ready to share with the world about my baby.
Mm-hmm.
But she did something that
wasn't
really, yeah. And I asked her because, you know, when I was a child and I responded in that type of behavior, it was because my mom was on drugs and because she wasn't active and because she was, you know, the way she was.
Mm-hmm.
But my baby doesn't have that kind of mother. So I was confused at first.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I'm so caught up in trying to keep myself together that I forgot that my baby watched all of it, you know.
Yeah.
And when she wrote me the letter, I just was, because I asked her and she's not very responsive when you're trying to talk. Mm-hmm. And I know that me, as a child, I used to write poems and write. And that was my way of coping with being the type of my situation, you know. And I, you know, my daughter, at first I just couldn't understand. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Mm-hmm. Not realizing, hey, your daughter just watched you get shot. She just watched you get beat up. She watched you get shot. She watched you almost die. You know what I'm saying? She got her own emotions that she might not know how to cope with or know how to deal with. You know, since then, my daughter done had outbursts at school, done been expelled, and having all these emotional outbreaks. She said she's suffering with breakdowns, that she can't think straight. She doesn't have the willpower no more. Mm-hmm. And I think about that, and I'm like, dang, the effect he did in all this affected me, my baby's ability to function. Mm-hmm. And then I'm frustrated because I don't know how to respond to that. Yeah. Because I'm still growing as a woman, a mother, and also trying to respond and cope with my own trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
his family, how well did you know his family while you guys were together?
He introduced me to some family members, but he always talked about them as being snake-like. Yeah. You know, like they wasn't for him. They used them. They don't love him.
Did he have anybody in his life that he didn't look at as a snake?
Honestly, I can't tell because after so long, I realized that he had a jealous spirit. So even people that wasn't doing nothing, he would think they doing something. And it could have just been the cocaine. Mm.
Now, in when everything happened, and we spoke about it, you said you were having a back and forth with his sister.
Yeah, I had made a post about the situation, and I was responding in the hospital, so I was still, you know, under the influence and in my feelings and angry. You know, I'm waking up basically handicapped. You know. And she wrote me and said, he did this to you. First, she tried to pretend like she didn't know who he was. But then the certain stuff she was asking, I was like, it seems like you know exactly who he is, you know? Mm-hmm. And she...
Wait. You said she was pretending as if she didn't know who he was?
Yeah.
Did you know...
I mean, I had an idea. I didn't ever met this sister, but it's so many women.
So you didn't know
women that claim to be his sisters.
Okay.
So I wasn't all the way sure. I met his mother. I met two guys that one supposed to be a dad, one supposed to be a stepdad.
Did any of them come check on you?
No, only one person actually called me, and I wasn't even sure if he was calling to get information or if he was really checking on me. But he reached out to me, and this is one of the cousins that he was really close to. His name is BJ. And I had met him multiple times. Mm-hmm. And he reached out to me. He said he didn't believe what was being said, and he wanted to hear the story from myself.
Okay.
That was probably the only family member that actually showed a sense of concern, and that didn't, made it clear that they didn't agree with what happened.
The back and forth with the sister, it was strictly online?
Yeah, it was on Instagram.
How long did that last?
Just that moment.
Okay.
Because I had to block her.
Okay.
Because to me, it's ignorant if you even consider a man being abusive. She kept trying to say, well, you should have called the police. Well, if it was that easy, ma'am, you don't think I would have? Mm-hmm. You think I want to have to fight with somebody I'm supposed to be in love with? Or
considering situations with family can get very sticky. We have a tendency to take up for our family members right, wrong, and different.
Yeah.
Do you think she was just taking up for her brother, or you thought?
To an extent, and she wasn't really. She definitely was taking up for him. Okay. And I had to remind her, like, you're a woman first, so you need to think like that, because I have 6 brothers. Mm-hmm. But if my brothers was to beat a woman or shoot a woman,
yeah,
he better not call my phone. Right. Because at the end of the day, I'm responding as a woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
You also alluded to your own issues with your mother concerning this situation. She's in Georgia or back in Indiana, or where is she?
She's back home, which is in California.
Okay.
She is on drugs.
Okay.
It's been that way probably majority of my life. I don't really have a relationship with her. Mm-hmm. However, when things happened with the shooting, she did do something that was quite evil, if you ask me.
What was that?
Comment on his music video and said she was proud that he shot me.
I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah.
Did she know him?
No. Never met him a day in her life.
So she got her information from what? From Instagram, social media?
I honestly have no idea, because I don't speak with him. So it had to be off of some, as far as I consider it, probably social media, if any.
Wow. When's the last time you spoke with your mother?
I haven't.
Wow. Okay. Can you tell about what happened in court?
In court, on the first hearing, he didn't show. He waived his appearance. The second time I came, they offered a plea that they never even came to me about or mentioned to me.
Okay.
And it was for 15 years probation, 6 months, served jail time, and $150,000 fine. Mind you, my hospital bills are almost $500,000.
Damn.
Right.
Damn.
So they offered him that, and then his lawyer rejected it, told him give him a couple weeks. He wanted to talk to him first. So I wasn't sure, maybe he lied to his lawyer and finally had to tell him what he did so he could advise him the best way, or if this is some cahoot shit. But the second time when we went this last time, which was probably no more than about a week ago, the whole plea was different. Mind you, they didn't tell me about this one either. And it was 10 years probation, 6 months jail time, $1,000 fine. So it went from $150,000 in restitution to $1,000. And basically he got time served, so he was released as of this morning.
Wow. Has he tried to contact you via phone, social media?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So the first time you saw him was in court?
Yes.
Any exchanging of words?
No. But the way he looked at me was like exactly what he said to me on that voicemail.
What voicemail?
He left a voicemail prior to coming to my house, and he was saying that I didn't love him and that he doesn't lose.
Wow. With your daughter going forward and the situation being so fresh, do you have any idea of how you're going to try to approach it?
I am looking into counseling for me and my baby.
Mm-hmm.
I know, a lot of people look at stuff like that as, oh, you might be crazy or this, but honestly,
Crazy.
I
Crazy in what way?
Some people make you feel like you don't got it all because you go to a therapist.
Everybody needs therapy.
I know I do.
Regardless of that isolated incident, everybody needs therapy. I know we all have things that we need to talk to someone about.
Yeah.
Specifically when we have like these very intense traumas. So throw that whole ideology to the wayside.
Yeah. Well, I don't think like that, but I know that's something that I'm considering because I have trauma before this that I never addressed. I just kind of cope with. And then on top of that, I have this situation. And then for my baby, she's still in her early prime stages. Like, she's still in her early moments. So I don't want her to grow up trying to figure out how to cope with this.
Right.
I want her to just let's get this done. Express yourself. Because I don't want her to feel less than or feel like she even have to be with a guy who treat her that way. I want her to learn from this experience and grow from it and be aware of it in case she comes across a man that's in that type of toxic atmosphere.
Speaking of that, a lot of times we knowingly or unknowingly have these love languages and love styles based on what we got from our parents as children. With that being said, your relationship has been non-existent with your mother for how long?
Since I was about 10 to 11 years old.
You left the house, or she left, or what happened?
She more so left.
She left. Who raised you?
My grandmother.
Grandma.
In the streets.
Streets. Father?
He died when I was 18.
What was your relationship with him prior to his death?
He was not like an average father. He was active. But to be honest with you, that's a long story within itself. And but from the age of 12 to 18, when I actually found out the original or who my biological was between 12 and 18.
Okay.
He was active. In the streets himself, so he wasn't like your average dad.
Your
average thought of a dad. He was a dad now.
Yeah,
but I love him. I miss him. I wish he's probably the only person on this planet that gave me that type of love for real.
Yeah,
or made me feel like I was loved by somebody for real.
How do you think your relationship with your parents have influenced your partners?
Well, with my mom, in the beginning, like when I first started really dating, the verbal abuse, I noticed that I can be that way.
Verbally with every man you've been with, or?
Yep.
Yeah. When did you first notice it?
With my son dad.
Was there a trigger, or is this instinct? This is how I respond in these moments of tension?
It definitely was a trigger. It was the cheating.
Okay. Gotcha.
It was the cheating.
Mm-hmm. What would you say?
I would call them bitches.
It's not laughable, but that's the way you said it.
I mean, yeah, he was every bitch. It was a lot of things I said that's very inappropriate that I'm not going to say on this camera because it can possibly fuck me up in the long run.
Yeah. Gotcha. Understood. When you noticed that you had that in you, did you modify your behavior in any way?
I tried. Honestly, it took me being shot to realize that some things, sometimes people can't handle it. And if I could do things different, even with my ex, even though I feel like he's wrong, but I was careless in areas that I could have probably avoided this. If that makes sense.
With
my mouth.
Gotcha.
I mean, I didn't say nothing that night, but prior, I didn't care for his feelings. It was, I don't give a fuck. Stay away from me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not thinking that this could be triggering him in all kind of ways, or you know what I'm saying. And I would be nasty to him. I would call him ugly and bitches and stuff like that. But that's because I was so hurt from all the things that I had to stop myself. All the things that he had put in my surrounding that could have been avoided, because now I'm going through things that, because with him I actually tried to be different. I actually tried to control my mouth. I actually tried to be more submissive, you know, because I'm an independent woman. So I don't care what money you got or what the hell you got going on. You disrespect me. Cheating to me is disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Or even so much as where I got to argue with you and you argue back, to me it's almost like taking up for the girl.
Oh, concerning cheating.
Yeah.
When you say you were submissive to him, what made you more submissive in that relationship than others?
He got food.
What, you never cooked before?
I did cook before, but not for men.
What, you did you... Okay, so you made it a point to not cook for men? Or you just never did?
I just felt like they don't want nothing, and if they're going to be my toy, then they don't get food. They just get the...
Wait, you say you're going to be my toy?
Yeah.
So you view men as toys?
Not all of them. It depends on what type of man you are.
Okay, there's two boxes now. So there's a man and then there's a toy. What qualifies a man as a toy and what qualifies a man as a man?
Okay, so we're going to start with the man. To me, a man is considerate. Let's start there. He know his position. He's a provider. You know what I'm saying? He acknowledged, since I'm a single mom, he acknowledged that me and my children. He makes sure that me and my children are stable. So that goes all back to the providing. He acknowledged me emotionally. Communication-wise, we can talk.
How many children do you have?
3.
3. How much action do you require from a man, or how much consistency do you need to see from him to say he's not a toy?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I definitely need action. If you are only contacting me when it's convenient for you, or if you're only conversating, should I say, about sexual things, you ain't nothing but a toy, and that's going to be on my time, not his.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if he's not delivering, like his conversation is more, say, just simply about my appearance or sexually, you know what I'm saying, then I don't take him serious, because you don't care about my well-being. You don't care about if we got food over here. You didn't ask what's going on. You know what I'm saying? How's the kids? Stuff like that. That's how I distinguish if a man is interested in me for real or not.
Earlier you said provide. How much does a man, and you said provide and make sure you're stable, and that goes back to, I guess, money in that situation, right?
Not necessarily just money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's him making sure my well-being, my mental state. How do you feel?
Okay.
He has to care about that. You know what I'm saying?
How soon do you introduce a man to your children?
Honestly, I haven't even dated much outside of, since since I left my son's father, it's only been, I haven't really dated but courting.
Yeah.
To where I would have somebody just in my kid's presence.
So your son's father, is that the third? Second child?
Yeah.
The third child is how old? 2. Okay. That was a toy?
He was definitely a toy mistake.
Toy mistake?
It was a toy mistake.
Toy mistake.
Oh, Lord.
The fathers of the children, are they active in their lives, or yes, or if so, how active?
Okay, so my oldest daughter, her dad is not really active. My son's father is active.
Okay.
And my youngest father is deceased.
Wow. I'm guessing no insurance policy?
Honestly, no, he doesn't have an insurance policy.
How'd he pass?
Cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you in a place where you would like to date now, or how do you feel about relationships at this point? Granted, the situation that you're currently still processing.
Oh, he can't stop me from doing nothing I want to do. Okay. And my main thing with this, you know, I'm not saying I'm emotionless or, you know, like I'm not facing things within myself or feeling however I feel within. You know what I'm saying? I just don't approach it and expose it to everybody. But he ain't stopping shit for me. I'm not gonna stop my life because of some arrogant, evil person deciding he think that he has some type of control or try to scare me into, you know what I'm saying, anything. You know what I mean?
With his what would you want out of a relationship at this point in life?
Honesty. No crazy stuff. Communication, so we don't have to even make it to that point.
Yeah.
So communication, let's start there. That's the number one thing, is that we're honest and able to communicate with each other. I don't care if you think it's gonna hurt my feelings or if anything, express it. Let's express it to each other, because that's the only way we're gonna be able to figure out what you don't like, what I don't like, how we want to move with each other, and be able to have that transparent relationship. Now, what else? I almost lost my train of thought for a second.
What about, men with children, without, do you have a preference?
Normally, I don't date Nick. I mean, normally I don't date guys. Normally, I don't date guys with children.
Why not?
Because I don't be wanting to deal with baby mama drama. I don't want to deal with the energy that comes behind that, and it's a lot of toxic energy that comes behind it, because some of these women, and I'm a baby mother, or you know what I'm saying, so I understand where they come from. I just, you know, and it took me a while to get the mindset to understand. Because in my mind, when I was bitter or mad or feeling whatever I felt, that's how I felt, and I didn't care. And they can possibly be feeling that way at the moment, you know what I'm saying? But it comes with a lot. You got to be able to trust him, for one. You got to hope that he's not leading them on, for two, because he can possibly still play house with them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know if I really allowed my baby fathers to have their cake and eat it too, then they would.
Yeah. The men, there are women that don't have children, and I had a friend tell me this the other week, a few weeks ago. She said women with children should leave men without children alone. How do you feel about that?
I wouldn't say that, because I done met guys who didn't have kids they were loving, they want kids, and then there's some that are bachelors that just like they are. And then
when you say the guys that are bachelors that don't have kids, they never plan on conceiving their own children?
I wouldn't say they don't plan on conceiving. I don't know what the hell they plan on doing. I know that they live like men without children.
Okay.
You know, they.
So we're going to the guys that you will be dating.
Now I don't have a preference.
Okay.
Like now, you know, he can have kids, but he needs to have control over the situation, which means, you know what I'm saying, you have children, you need to make sure that you and your communication, whatever you got going on with your baby mothers, that is what you handle. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me twisted, because I'm not the type of woman that it's not going to be involved, because if I'm with him, them kids are my kids.
Right.
You know? But I know my boundaries with that, too, because I know what I would accept as a baby mother. I have to think about that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And
what are some of the boundaries? I don't have any children, so this is kind of out of my territory. So what would be some of the boundaries?
Like, okay, so I don't want, Lord have mercy, I don't want, when it comes to boundaries, I don't want to have to, like, I'm not arguing with them. So you need to have it, you know, excuse me, you need to have control. I want to feel like, you know what I'm saying, and even if you don't, like, a lot of women are not going to be open to the women contacting them and trying to
coordinate stuff.
Right. Excuse me. I don't know where that came from. Some women are more ignorant than others, and some understand. They're not in the situation no more. But when a woman, I stopped being closed-minded to that. Because as a woman, I used to think that all women was right. I guess biased, if you want to say that. Yeah. I used to feel like the men are wrong, and because I was hurt, they're wrong. They're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But in reality, after growing and learning, I realized there's a lot of women out here that are really mad because they just can't have that situation. Yeah. And they may have messed it up themselves, because now I see it from both ends. Mm-hmm. You know? And
if you were to have a man that didn't have any children and he wants another child, well, I guess that for you to have another child, what would you say?
Marry me. Okay. Because if you're not my husband, you can count any other children coming out of this ass out. You gotta marry me or it's not happening.
Okay. Going forward with your daughter, have you noticed any other changes with the other children?
No. I think my son's so young that it didn't really faze him the same. Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he didn't see it as well.
Yeah, he didn't see it. He told me that when he heard the commotion, he thought I was screaming because I'm scared of spiders. So he thought that I saw a spider or something. That's what he told me. So he's really innocent. He really didn't understand until it happened. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, my 2-year-old just doesn't know. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. With your daughter, your oldest daughter, do you think this situation could be salvaged, or you think the damage has already been done?
That's a tough question, because honestly, until after counseling or seeing some type of difference, I wouldn't really know. Mm-hmm. Because she's not the type of kid that just really, I had to get her to write it out. Okay. When I asked her, she just looked at me with this blank stare. And then I was like, just write it, because I had to think fast, because I remember being her age and can't say nothing because you might get cussed out or, you know what I'm saying?
Stay in the kid's place and all
that stuff. So I told her to write it.
With that being said, you alluded to her having a blank stare. Do you think ever since that moment she kind of zones out a lot more when you look at her?
I noticed my baby likes to sleep a lot. Her room is very dull. Gray, it's dark, so I think she's going through a form of depression, if you ask me.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a few options that I think you should consider as far as therapy before you leave.
All right.
There's different ways you can find. You can pick different therapists. Choose someone of color, race, what they specialize in. I'll make sure you get all that before you leave. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being honest. Going forward, he's basically been released, and you said he has, 10 years probation?
10 years probation, anger management, drug rehabs, alcohol classes.
And that's it?
Yeah.
How long is do you have a restraining order in place?
10 years.
10 years restraining order?
I mean, they did. I mean, that's what was part of the plea. They told him he can't contact me or my children.
What's the distance amount allowed? 100 feet?
They didn't. Honestly, they talked so fast, I didn't even recall what they said. I just know he better not contact me. Honestly, as long as he don't contact me, I'm fine. Just don't contact me.
Understood. Have you had any contact with anyone in his family since then? I mean, the situation's still pretty fresh. He just got out today, you said.
Yeah.
Moving forward, do you think you want to relocate? You think you're fine here?
I think he probably not to ever. I'm probably the only woman that probably stand up to him, because I remember his ex contacted me, and she mentioned that he used to beat on her. But see, I didn't take her serious because he had never touched me.
Okay.
So it was like it could be a woman who's angry because she can't have him, because he's always was sweet into that moment, you know. And then.
Well, you said into that moment, but you also said that he choked you before.
Yeah, he did, but you know, she said he was beating her, like beating her. Yeah. So to me, it's like, you saying he beating you, like black in your eyes. I want to see it. You gonna have to send me some proof. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because.
Did she?
No.
Did she?
Well, she sent me one video, but it wasn't like super black eyes or nothing. You can see his aggression in his face. So I don't know if he made her record it. Because he was holding her neck. So it was like, and they were singing, it's like he was making her sing his song. And I thought that was weird when I saw it.
What song?
I can't recall, because it was something that's not released. But if I hear it, I will know. But they were singing it, and she was singing it with him, but he was holding her neck. And she had like a little mark right here. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like, I don't know if she had makeup on where she covered up the black eyes or what. But you can see the control in it, if that makes sense.
This was after or before the shooting?
After.
Oh, so she came to you after you got shot?
She said stuff before, but she just didn't actually provide me. She told me he was on powder. But she told me she was going to send me a video, but never sent it, so I didn't take her serious.
Okay.
You know,
and then
I'm not going to
just video afterward.
No, she never sent me the video. But once people found out what happened, there was a lot of people that were inboxing me like, "Yeah, he like a junkie." You know, they were talking like it was normal, like they used to seeing him do it, but he has never snorted powder in front of me. So I was like, "Damn." Everybody know you on crack with me? Excuse me, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that made me feel...
Crack or coke? Just powder?
It's the same shit to me.
Okay.
So, yeah. Crack. It's crack.
Gotcha. It's, You don't recall seeing any red flags outside of the choking incident?
Cheating. I mean, he was emotionally messed up when it came to the cheating part. But if that was probably his worst thing, was the females contacting me. But I didn't even question him because he gave me all of his time when he had it. You know what I'm saying? So when females would contact me, I kind of ignored them, honestly. Because I was like, these heifers are probably just because he's with me 24/7. So some of the stuff they were saying, I was like, how?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I used to brush it off. I brushed it off for a long time until it had got so aggressive to the point, you know, I had women popping up at my house. No.
Okay.
But I did have women popping up at my house. They were popping up at my house. They were emailing me. They were to the extent I was like, if this is what it's like dating someone in the industry, I'll be damned. Because this is mentally draining.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, how did they even find me?
Yeah. But
now I get it, because you got to be talking about me to them or something, because how are they finding me?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So. Well, moving forward, your next step is therapy, and then what?
I'm really, you know, outside of therapy, I kept my mind focused. You know, Kids is Unique is one of my biggest things, because I no longer have the ability to walk in heels. However, I love them. Yeah. So I put all my pain and my thoughts and everything possible into that. Yeah. So that's my outlet, you know. I'm going to write a book, because I done went through so much shit that it definitely deserves a novel. Yeah. You know. And I just want to be able to, I felt silenced, you know. I really did, like, and because I'm not used to, I'm fairly shy for the most part, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of
talk about
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of brush it off, and people look at me and probably think I had this normal life because of my appearance, but in reality, I come from shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I make this world what I want it to be, but I come from nothing.
Your shoes, have you you sold all your shoes? All
Not
your
yet. We're looking to launch in the next couple weeks, actually. So
these are shoes from your personal collection?
Yeah, these are my shoes. I plan to make it like a girl's fantasy world. You know, pretty girls. You know, we not rocking Jordans and all that. No tennis shoes. You know, that I don't even like tennis shoes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I always, like, I was the type, I would walk in the mall with heels on, feet hurting and all, but I like to look sexy. I like to look seductive, beautiful. Heels make your feet look just as pretty as your face. You know? Like, it gives a whole nother atmosphere. It's a whole vibe. And I've always loved heels. Even growing up, I used to fantasize about being like the models in the videos. Yeah. And pretty. And, of course, have those pretty-ass heels. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got these pretty heels. Their feet look good. Their face look good. Their hair look good. Their nails look good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that was, like, something for me. And then as I got older, I'm telling you, I would go in the store and specifically want to buy certain type of shoes and still end up walking out with heels.
What's your favorite heel? You got top three? Huh? Is there a specific design? Now, keep in mind, you're talking to a heterosexual man that's not like in that world. So, like, shoe. I see shoe, pink one, red one, blue one. That's all I see. But different
I like
heights,
certain
4-6 inches. And, okay, all those.
So I like all heights. So it can be 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. You know what I'm saying? As long as I can walk in them, I like them. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm long legs, even though I'm only 5'5", but it looks like I'm taller because I'm more legs. Yeah. But I like princess looking heels, if that makes sense. Baby doll looking heels, diamond heels.
What is that heel look like?
I should have brought a heel.
Yeah. I should have said something.
Yeah, I should have brought a heel because, like, I have some heels that have like the Mickey Mouse bow. You know what I'm saying? It has diamonds in it, and them are my favorite. Yeah. I don't care. I done gave some of my friends some of my heels since I can't wear heels no more, and I done let them go in my collection and still, you know, they didn't steal them. They didn't steal them.
Just go have at it.
But I let them shop. You know what I'm saying? I let them go and take them.
Yeah, yeah.
But them ones, they can't take those. Yeah. Because I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna get
a picture of those.
I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna get back in those.
Even if it's for a photo shoot.
Just for the photo, but I'm gonna need to get back in those. But I love those. I love, you know, it's all kinds. Honestly, it's all of them.
Yeah.
I love heels. I love heels.
Have you? How about your daughter? She love heels too?
Yeah, since she was little, she always played them. And any ones that I got scuffed up or something like that after the club or something, I always let her have them until they was so gone that they had to go in the trash. And that's because she done messed them up even worse.
The teaching of the walk how in heels. How do you explain how heel walk training would transpire?
I don't think. Honestly, it just take experience. Because honestly, it took me a second. I started off and I was, you know, around and ankles hurting, knees hurting, you know what I'm saying? And then over time, you become accustomed. Then you start to know how to shop for them. Because I made my duty when I did go for the heels. I know that, like, okay, I would go in Shoeland. Let's say that, for instance. Don't get me wrong, Shoeland. I like y'all. Y'all be having some fly looking heels. But they hurt like hell. They hurt like hell. They hurt like hell, right?
What makes them hurt?
I'm not even quite sure what make their heels hurt.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It could be the heel itself, or it could be the material they're using. Because there's, like, for instance, Jessica Simpson. Okay. That's who I got them bow heels from, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hate on her. She did good when she said, I don't know, she put a Dr. Show up in there. But you can run on them. You can run in them. And so when I started to think of kids, I was like, I love heels. So I started to think of, when I started to go for heels, I started to think about every last one of my friends, the styles they like. Yeah. This stuff I like. Yeah. And make it one big swag, you know. And then I also paid attention, because there's heels that I would go buy and I'd spend $20 for some little cheap heels real quick, right out of Shoeland, real quick. But they hurt like hell when you walk. Yeah. And then I go and get some Jessica Simpsons. I might have to spend 50, 60, you know what I'm saying, 70, might a little bit more. Yeah. But I can run in them. They're comfortable.
Why do you need to run in heels?
Because you never know. You just never know. It could be a dog when you walking home when you getting out the car from the club. It could be a dog.
You keep referencing heel running. I'm like, why do you need to run in heels?
Well, I think of the comfort. When I say run, I'm thinking of comfort.
You never know when I need to have a race.
That's what I'm saying. and when you're under influence, you might need a race. So, I think about that, because when I do go out, I want to be able to, even if I have to stand long, like, I don't want to be uncomfortable.
Well, that's what I was about to say. So, is there a difference in heel for the walk, dancing, standing?
All that. Because if the heel's uncomfortable, I think, honestly, it becomes more of how it's made. Gotcha. It's more how the shoe made. Because it's some shoes that are made, the support. If the strap is thick, you know, support enough, if it's thick enough, what's on it, you know what I'm saying? You want to make sure your ankle and stuff is secure. Because if you don't feel secure, you're going to wobble. You're going to wobble.
Not the good wobble either.
No, not the good wobble. The almost fall wobble. Yeah. But your ass wobble.
Yeah. That's why I was asking, like, going down steps, up and down escalators, walking on different terrain, like from carpet to hard surfaces, and then different types of, like, surfaces, like different pathways that people have. Like, seeing you guys do it, it's like, it looks a little dicey.
It is dicey.
But when you guys get to walk together, it's like, okay, yo, you strutting.
It take time, though.
How long it take you to get your strut together?
It took years. Yeah. It took years. Because them knees, I remember my best friend Monique, she always said, keep them knees straight. She like, keep them knees straight.
Why does she sound like a drill sergeant?
She was. Because she, like, it didn't matter if her feet was, them piggies could be barking as hard as they wanted to. I tell you now. She kept them damn knees straight. Okay. She was walking and she kept going, but her piggies was barking. Yeah. And me, I'd be like, oh.
Now, you said...
But I still loved them. I was going to let them bark, but I was stiff. Yeah. You know, some women know how to play it off. Me, if they hurt too bad, oh, Lord, we got to get to this car. Yeah.
Shoes off.
I need to change.
Now, you used to dance, right?
I did.
How long did you dance?
I danced for probably 2-3 years.
Now, the dancer heel is extremely high.
It depends, because certain clubs will let you get away with stuff. You know what I'm
Okay.
But for the most part, yes.
Like it's a rule that you have to wear like a certain length or what?
No, it's not a rule on the length. It's a rule on having the heel on though. You're
you
not allowed on stage
without
the heel on. Yeah.
Got you. Okay. The walk in heels in performance mode versus outside the club, is your walk the same? Is it a little different for your character? Because I've been friends with a lot of strippers, and they said they become like another character.
You do. When you're on stage, you are definitely in acting mode. You are definitely in whoever you are for the night.
And them knees straight.
Yep. Keep them knees straight.
Yeah. So how long did it? Well, did you have any bad heel moments while you were on stage?
Not on stage, but
I
remember.
Caught that little.
Yeah, I used to work with Tees. It was a club, and I had got off stage and I walked to the back, and I fucking fell. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I fell so hard. I feel so hard when them ankles gave out. I guess they were just standing too long. They was just. I fell, and the house mom was like, she just stared at me. She was like, "You all right?" I was
It's only my pride was hurt.
that was it. I couldn't believe that I had just bust my tail like that. Like,
yeah.
I totally really bust my ass. And
did the heel break or you just fell?
No, I just fell. My ankles gave out. I was on there so long. I was on stage so long. And then when I got off, I walked to the back and I was getting ready to change and stuff, and I just fell. I just collapsed. And actually that was the first night. That was my first night.
Okay, so your ankles were strong.
Amateur night.
Amateur night?
Yeah, it was my first night, and I blew it. When I got off stage, I walked to the back like, "Oh Lord, this is too much."
Now,
it's some work.
No, revisiting something you said earlier, where you say you look at men as men and or the toys. Do you think your time as a dancer shaped some of the way you look at men?
Yes.
How so?
Because it made me be able to distinguish them toys. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the men who genuinely want the best for you, and you can tell the ones who just want to touch you. If that makes sense.
The camel toe.
Yeah, the camel toe. Oh, wait.
What? It's an inside joke. It's an inside joke.
I know. Oh my
God. No one knows. How would they know? They're not gonna know.
How would they know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So how do you deal with the toys? Pick them up and play with them, or are you like, no, I'm done. I'm done playing with y'all?
Yeah, they really pretty much be done with. Cause honestly, right now, to be honest with you, before it'd be a toy, I had the energy for it. Now it's like I don't want nothing to do with them. You're wasting my time. You don't want nothing but some butt. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you like butt like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They trying to make my ass wet, and I don't want it wet right now. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So toys is out the question for Cali Pics right now. I don't want them. Honestly, I think because this past year, I had to focus on healing, and it was like a detox
of toxic people in general, or just
whatever soul ties that was there. Because people, they probably look past it, but sexual contact is a soul tie to me.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
I got to detox. I was celibate. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I didn't have a choice. Even if I thought about it, it wasn't happening. I was handicapped. It wasn't happening. And
now, petty question.
All right.
Did you get a rose?
Yes, I got a rose.
Yeah, all the girls love roses.
And my rose has an attachment. It comes with with a weenie.
Yo, the way you describe appendages, what's a butt? You sound like a TT. Why you sound like an auntie?
I'm an auntie.
Want to make my butt wet?
Auntie Jackie.
TT Jackie.
Yes, Lord
and
have
wieners.
mercy. It do. It's a rose
in a vibrating wiener.
Yeah, it's a rose, and the wiener actually goes shum shum shum. Like
make that noise again. It does what?
Shum.
Sound like a lightsaber.
It goes up and like it, and then you can change the speeds. What? I'm just saying.
What's your number? You get about 6, 7. Then when you get to that point, you jack it up to about 9.
Honestly, the weenie part barely make it because the rose I have you there in about a good 60 seconds.
Is that okay? Okay. Now I've heard a lot of women say this, right? Man, and rose is rose, and it's given what's supposed to be gave.
That's exactly what it do.
Now, is it a good, or is it like finishing too fast?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I don't know how to describe that because it's like you think about lasting, but you really don't give a fuck. So,
all right, now, so it's different as men. We're like muskets. Most of us, like, we shoot one time, we're done for the night. Now, y'all get most of us. Now, you guys have the ability to go, a couple rounds in, a couple back-to-backs.
I have 3 forms of orgasms, if that makes sense.
All right.
So,
TT Jackie. Tell all 3.
All right, so I have the one that you're talking about, that y'all have, that one that you ejaculate and it's like, ooh, it's a wrap.
Okay.
I got that one that it can happen back to back. That's not necessarily so big, but it's like little small ones. Mm-hmm. And then you got that squirt.
Yo, your sound effects. Her sound effects, though. It's the shoom, 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 and then the... Whatever, I can't replicate that noise. That's yo, you about to do voiceover work now.
Yes. Those would be my 3.
The rose does all the 3?
The rose does the grand finale one. The rose is going to get you in and out.
Yo, I do not endorse rose, but I feel I need a sponsorship at this point because I had so many women talk about this.
You definitely need some stock in the rose.
Stock in rose. Stock and rose. That's where we are in life right now. Now, okay. Having used toys, going back to meat. It's like, this doesn't shroom for me.
No, men still shroom. It's just the right man. So it's like, I'm at a point in my life that
I got deep on the shroom.
I gotta want him. I gotta want him. If I don't want him, it ain't happening. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a lot of men who try to address me, but to me, I think they look at me as, a trophy, a sex doll, this beautiful girl that they can rub on her butt. They don't see past my ass and titties. Versus, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's pointless for me to just be.
Did you feel that way before you started dancing?
Yeah, to an extent.
Okay. It was that, I guess that was heightened when you started working in clubs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you meet a guy who actually talks to you and communicates with you and wants something good for you and talks about you as in we and approaches you differently, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got to turn me on in other ways. What else do you have to offer me than just dinner and you know what I'm saying? Because they're going to give you some food because you going to at least got to feed me. Damn, I need some food. You know what I'm saying? You got to feed me at least, but that's not enough. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, what else do you have to offer than this what you doing conversation? And can I come Netflix and chill? Or let's go get something to eat and then still end up in Netflix and chill. You know what I'm saying? What else? You know what I'm saying? Now, meeting guys, after the fact, it's only one guy that actually approached me in a different way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still kind of getting to know him personally, but he approached me in a way I've never, ever been approached out of all 32 years of my life.
You think it's because you're projecting different energy now?
Possibly.
You think you're ready for it? Because a lot of times we'll get what we're asking for, but it's so foreign from what we've had, we sometimes sabotage it.
That might be where I'm at, because I'm not sure if I'm ready. because it's so different, and he's so different.
For the sake of you and the sake of him, I would urge you to communicate that. It doesn't necessarily mean the situation has to dissolve. Just so it protects you, and he doesn't have unanswered questions if it doesn't work right now. Because if handled properly, it can work in the future if you're ready at that moment.
Yeah, and he says that he's actually pretty patient. If you ask me, I'm probably the one that's not as patient because I don't have a lot of room to play. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't have room to.
Well, from marriage, maybe I guess this maybe be a question for me. You want marriage, right?
In the end of it, yes.
Most people would say they want to build a family and everything like that with a marriage, but you come in having 3 children. Does he have kids?
Yes.
He does? Okay, so what would you guys want from a marriage?
Right now, when we talk about things, it's more so of us building our empire first.
Okay, business.
So, yeah. Okay. So, our main focus is building.
He sells Jordans and you sell heels?
He sell what?
Jordans, I was playing.
No, he doesn't sell Jordans, but he has his own dealership and stuff like that.
Nice.
He's definitely out of my ordinary, so he's completely different from what I'm used to. As far as conversation-wise, so I'm not gonna say image or.
Do you have a type when it comes to image?
Not really.
No. Okay. So what's your type then? Your historically your type?
I don't think I ever had a type. Right now, because any guy I dated they all was completely different.
Well, I mean, they may look physically different.
No,
but
they were completely personality.
Oh, so what makes him? Well, he's not. Well, this is not necessarily operating off a type. It's just something you haven't had before, huh?
Exactly.
Okay.
He's completely different.
Yeah.
I never even had a man even consider when he talks to me. He talking a we hour. He doesn't talk in an I.
Yeah.
And every guy outside of him has always said, "I need this. I gotta do this. I can you help me?" Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily what are we gonna do to build this business. How are we gonna do this for the children? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The way he talks to me, it's more in us.
It's inclusive. Yeah. Gotcha. I hope that works for you. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Just
besides the shroom.
Yeah, I would say for all my lovely ladies, just feel free to sign up for our email subscription list. That's with kidsisunique.com, and follow us on Instagram, kidsisunique, and Cali Picks Original.
Cali Picks the Original.
Cali Picks _ the original.
Yo, you got like 5 names. I was like, and you would tell me, you would do this thing where you're like, you would say, this is, you say Jackie, then I met.
Yes, government.
Okay, then Cali. I met Cali.
Yeah, Cali is the vixen, the model, the everything. Cali Picks, Cali. That she's everything else.
Andrea
is the childhood name, the original me. I'm only use Jackie. That's my adult. You know what I'm saying? But it is my first name.
Gotcha.
But it's my mom's name and it's my grandmother's name, so they always call me Andrea. My family, anyone closer to me, call me Andrea.
Gotcha. Okay. Clarifying that for my contact list. I swear I know all of these people. They're the same person.
Yep.
Now your new name's gonna be Shroom. Shroom. With I don't know if I can get a caption for that water effect that you made. Whatever you. Listen, thank you again for joining us, for being open and so transparent. I wish the best for you and your daughter, and I'm gonna tell you about the therapy options as well.
Okay.
Listen, go to the comment section. If you think we got it right, show some love. If you think we got it wrong, say it with your chest. Be respectful. Most importantly, respect my guests. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. This has been a show.
Thank you. No problem.